Alright everybody, happy Saturday, December the 9th to you. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon. Been watching videos all day. My plan was, to not give y'all this wonderful shot of the bedroom. It's so aesthetically pleasing, I'm sure, and boring. I was going to get outside. Anybody that's on the East Coast knows what the weather's been like the last few days. It is 35 degrees here in North Carolina and raining for the last 3 days. So rough weather, not going to make it outside to shoot this video, so here we go. I'm going to keep this short today, or try to. That's me saying that doesn't mean anything at this point. I'm so long-winded. A couple of discussion points we're going to talk about today is monetizing your channel for those who's going to be vlogging this year. Talk just a little bit about your med kit and what I wish I would have had when I started. And then foot gear a little bit, because that's the hot topic. Everybody's, what am I going to wear? Because once you step off at Springer or Amicalola, whichever you choose, you've got what you've got until at least nil gap, or maybe beyond if you've already sent some footwear ahead. So really an important topic. I think the rest of our kit we can get away with, as long as we have enough warmies and enough dry stuff to put on at the end of the day. But that footwear, man, it's a critical choice. So again, don't overthink it. You can survive anything. You might have to reduce your mileage if they're messing your feet up or something, but anyway, we'll talk about it. Second thing is I'm posting the new list, or the updated list, let's say. So I'm leaving everybody from the week before on the top of the list, and then I'll put, like, I think that one's as of 3 December, and then today's will be as of 9 December, and I'll have all the additional folks that I've found that are planning on vlogging or who have contacted me. That's another thing. If you're watching this video and you plan on vlogging your northbound hike this year, send me a comment and on this video, and I will include you for next week. Now, some of these folks that I've got listed, if you go to their channels, they don't have anything posted yet. That's okay. They say it's coming. So just be patient. Go ahead and subscribe to their channels. Hopefully you'll subscribe to the entire list. I mean, 37, that's a lot. You might not be able to follow all these folks. I get it. But at least it's there, and it's easy for you to go find. If I post something in a weekly update that strikes your fancy, you'll already have those guys in your subscribe folder, and you can just go find them really quick. So hit the subscribe button for all these folks, and I'm telling you, you can already hear it in a lot of their videos this week. Those subscriber counts are already climbing, and it's just motivating, and it puts this little bit of pressure and motivation on them, on all of us vloggers, to have to be on our toes and produce some videos. And they don't have to be great, they just need to be you. I can't remember what week it was. Somebody commented, I asked, I think it was day 37, don't quote me on that, I'll have to go back and look, but I asked folks, hey, what is it about thru hikers, the ones that you follow, what is it about their idiosyncrasies or any of their little habits or how they present themselves with a camera that draw you into them? And then they listed a whole bunch of things in the comments. So for all you vloggers, and I know some of you's like, man, I'm not doing it for them, I'm doing it for me. Got it, man. Like, that's what I was doing it for as well. But it's interesting to see what people, what they really like. And that's a wide variance, right? Like, along that continuum, you got your Dan Haley's from last year, who were pretty rough and uses some profanity, and a lot of the older, let's say, Bible Belt folks, man, that ain't their guy. And then you've got all the way over to the left of the continuum, we'll say maybe a disciple, and I wouldn't put him all the way over to the left, but he's a very well thought out, disciplined, preacher, very religious, kind of hiker. So that's the continuing from last year, and I'm already seeing it build right now. Like, Ivy Tat is over here on the right. He's like the Dan Haley of the 2018 so far. Man, I sat here today watching about 4 of his videos, and my stomach hurt at the end of it. I was laughing so hard. And then over here you've got a lot of folks, like the I'm forgetting what he calls himself now. Man, I'll think of it in a minute, because it is a good name. Oh, the Bearded Servant. Sorry, I couldn't remember that, because it is a pretty good name for him. So he's kind of, so far to me, like the disciple this year. Very religious, very self-aware of his those main pillars of his beliefs, and that will come out on the trail. I am more than confident. So again, we're building that continuum already, and it's cool. So subscribe to everybody, but then get to, I know you're going to hone in and narrow in on those that you really like to follow. Me, I like everybody all the way across that continuum, so it eats up a lot of my time. My wife needs to start pushing back because I spend a lot of time watching these videos. Too much time. Starting to get an addiction. Maybe already addicted. Okay, so moving on. I'm already 6 minutes into this. I'm so long-winded. Monetizing your channel. Some of you have it done already, and some of you don't. If you were hard-headed like me going into last year, I was thinking I was doing it for the viewers and trying to save some 5 seconds of your time every time you click on an early riser video. I'll be honest with you. Once somebody made the suggestion of, hey, why don't you monetize and donate that somewhere? It's like, crap, man. That was like day 60 something by the time I got it done, and I already passed up all those viewers and all those views on my videos, and that I could have donated that money to St. Jude's. And I'm not saying monetize your channel to necessarily give it away to charity. Some of you may need that money to stay in a hostel, or to treat yourself to a good dinner when you need it on the AT, or get off the trail when it's raining and miserable and you just need to take a zero. But for some of you, I would just offer that if you have the ability to donate some of those funds coming from your videos, it does two things. A, you should let us know what you're donating it to, or that you're donating it, because that motivates us to watch more. I'll watch every commercial that comes up when I watch your videos if I know you're doing that. I still don't know the calculus behind YouTube's algorithms of what gets you paid, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's just views, length of views, I don't know. But what I'll tell you is when people were watching those videos and we were really focusing on raising money for St. Jude's, it was ridiculous. I was making upwards of 500 and something bucks a month for St. Jude's. So if you let us know that you're going to donate to charity, just let us know which one. It'll get people motivated to spend a little more time and to watch some commercials for you, so we can, because it makes us feel like we're giving back to the greater good as well. Not just watching your videos and supporting you, but supporting the greater good, like those babies up at St. Jude's. Up to you totally. I'm just offering some experiences that I went through. Wish I would have done it from day one. So if you want to know how to monetize your channel, there's hundreds of videos on YouTube, obviously, on how to monetize. I want to give a shout out to Bigfoot, who walked me through this process as I'm walking northbound on the trail. And it wasn't that easy from your cell phone. And I actually had to do part of it when my wife, when Miss ER came up with my laptop computer. Because the first step of it, I believe, and don't quote me on this, but it seemed like you had to do something for them, your laptop, and then everything else can be done on your phone. And I may be off on that. A couple of apps that you need to download that will help you manage those accounts a lot better. That's about it for monetizing. Again, it's up to you, but trust me, don't be a dummy like me. That 5 seconds is well worth it if we know we're supporting you in your hike, or if we're helping contribute to a good charity. It's all worth it to the viewers. So don't sweat it. Monetize your channels as soon as you can. Start making some money now. The last thing about monetizing, it's important to note, they won't send you your monthly money if it doesn't exceed $100. So if you're not getting a whole lot of views, and I haven't been getting monthly checks since I've been off the trail, what they'll do is wait till the month that you have exceeded $100, and then they'll send you that check that month. So like last month, I got a month for the last 2 or 3 months, and it ended up being like $120 or something like that. So I have nosedived off. I still, at the end of the year, I'm going to add up these last few sporadic months and donate that money to St. Jude's, and that's still going to go. That's still my plan, at least for the near future, is to keep supporting them babies. All right, moving on. Sewing kit. I've been watching a couple of gear reviews today. Again, y'all have some incredible gear. I wish we could total up the amount spent on all this gear. It's like Ivy Tat said, he could buy a house in Fiji with all the money he's given to Z-Packs. I don't know how Z-Packs is a little company anymore, because my goodness, I know this is a small community and it doesn't really relate, but it seems like everybody out there has a whole bunch of Z-Pack stuff, and my hat's off to them, because they make some dang good gear. And I just spent $400 there a couple of weeks ago to get another ruck. So that med kit, Um, and we'll talk about this a little bit in your footwear. But you got to plan on having blisters. Some folks are just lucky and don't get blisters. I'm not one of those people. At any point in time, I kept telling people on my through hike, if you could have seen my feet, if I would have showed the audience my feet, y'all probably would be like, oh my God, what's he doing on the trail? He needs to go to the hospital. Because I'll have 4 or 5 bad blisters at a time, depending on the parts of the trail or how far I'm moving. So make sure you have something like KT tape. KT tape's the new hotness out there. It's the new magic. So make sure you have some of that KT tape because it sticks really well. And once you get to know where your hot spots are going to be for whatever brand of shoes or whatever type of shoes you're wearing, you can prep your feet in the mornings. And using that KT tape just to avoid, you can go longer. It's just like second skin, obviously being on there. I know that's basic, but man, it's going to come into play. I've heard a couple of people who with failed through hikes saying they got off the trail for blisters, and man, maybe it's just more experience than anything, but like blisters aren't going to take me off the trail, and they shouldn't take you off the trail because they're manageable. So just learn to manage it before you get out there. And the second thing is I've heard a couple of folks talk about their medications. Everybody's taking a lot of ibuprofen, some sinus stuff, some allergy medicine. Folks, Imodium is a critical item to have in there. I got caught on the trail when I got sick, came down with that stomach bug coming out of Damascus. The conditions were as bad as they were at any point on the trail when it came to cold and severe. I had diarrhea and I had no way to slow it down because I didn't have any Imodium. So lesson learned, I bought some, I had some the rest of the trail, never needed it, of course. That's how Murphy likes to play his games. But Imodium is a critical item to have in that med kit. All right, last subject we'll talk about briefly today is how to test your footwear. So this is a shout out to Evan from Evan's Backpacking Adventures. And folks, he's gonna through hike this year, but this dude's been doing videos for years, and I was watching his videos when I was on the trail just because he has some great techniques. And just great experience. He said, I think on his video I watched today, he's got over 1,500 miles of video already hanging on YouTube channels of different hikes he's done. So that's amazing in itself. And he's about to go knock out 2,200 more. But what he knows about himself from doing all those hikes, and I learned pretty quickly, at least by Virginia, where my red line was too, was he's like, he knows he has to walk about 18 miles before he really starts testing his footwear, because that's when his feet will normally start breaking down. Mine were probably about the 18-mile mark for the first month or so. That spun up to about 20 to 22 miles, and then I had to really watch my feet because they would start breaking down. And then anything over 24, 25 miles, I could guarantee I was going to have some kind of foot issue if I didn't stop. And by that time I was too tired. I wasn't going to stop. I was going to get to where I was going, and that's where a lot of my blisters came from. So you need to get out there in those shoes more than you think, and you need to figure out where those hot spots are. And I know some of you live in Florida and some of you live in some flatlands. If you can get to a gym and crank up a treadmill to freaking steep inclines and just walk for an hour or two, that's going to replicate the trail fairly well for an indoor conditions especially, and B, it's also going to start letting you figure out where the hot spots are going to be, because walking on flat ground ain't going to do it, man. You're going to, as soon as you start going up and down those hills and your foot starts sliding backwards and sliding forwards down into your foot box coming downhill, that's where that friction builds up. So you got to figure that out beforehand if possible, or just be ready to go shorter miles, and let your feet get healed up or toughened up, or learn how to tape them in the mornings. Just all food for thought. I know most of this is obvious. So your test hikes, at some point they need to start pushing your feet to the max. He went out and did a hike around a park near his house, I think, and he did a 20-miler. He had to push it over those 18 miles to test his footwear to see what they were going to do to his feet. And basically, he didn't have any blisters or hot spots. And he was wearing some kind of sandals that were pretty badass, if you ask me. So that was pretty impressive, 20 miles in sandals. Reminds me of Kiwi doing 20, what'd you do, Kiwi? 24 in Crocs. Yeah, impressive. And then, like I said, you just got to understand how to treat blisters. Go to some videos on YouTube. If you haven't had a lot of blisters in your life and you're going to through hike, man, just figure it out. Again, I heard Dixie say it the other day on her channel. I've said it a bunch. The needle and thread method, to run a piece of thread through a blister and keep that thread in there. It's an amazing method. I don't know why I didn't know that in the Marine Corps or when I was in Air Force Special Ops, but I wish I did, because I was dealing with a lot of blisters there too, especially overseas when we were doing a lot of long movements. So anyway, it's a great technique, but just know some of those techniques. And then for all of you debating, you know, I'm still seeing a lot of folks, I say a lot of folks, we got 37, so out of them, just a few are thinking about doing Gore-Tex. The thing about Gore-Tex is, and you're going to hear me say it a lot, and I still want you to, if that's what you think the right answer is, man, everybody here is going to support you, and nobody's going to like start making fun of you or anything. We're going to support you all the way. But it's going to hold moisture, it's going to hold humidity inside. It's a petri dish for bacteria growth inside your shoe. And it's just, I'm telling you, it's just not a good environment. What water you think you're preventing coming in, that water would be cleaner than the sweat and the bacteria that's going to build up, that's going to get stuck inside that shoe. So again, leather and Gore-Tex, man, I'm not a fan anymore. Never will I go out again with those on unless it's extreme winter conditions somewhere and I know I don't have to worry that much. I'm more concerned about keeping my feet warm. So keep that in mind. Again, I'm always going to push now for folks to wear trail runners with some kind of gaiters. But again, this is your hike and you got to do what's right for you and figure it out as you go. So, all right. I hope everybody has a good weekend. I hope this video was somewhat valuable. If nothing else, you'll get the new names down below in the description. And for everybody that's through hiking this year, folks are wanting to know things like what is your start date? Are you a tenter or a hammocker? So if you could list like comments below, this would help me out instead of having to go find everybody's videos and it's spread out through some of your videos. Just let me know, man. Are you going to use a tent or are you going to be in a hammock? What kind of sleep system are you using? Are you a closed foam or a inflated sleeping pad? What kind of shoes are you wearing? And what kind of pack are you taking? So kind of the big three plus your footwear. If you could just write that in the comments below, and then I can just put it all on maybe a little spreadsheet or Word document, and I will post that every week so everybody can see. That would be awesome. All right, y'all. This is about 2018. Nothing else matters to me at this point because I'm stuck in the matrix. I'm going to be in the matrix this entire through hike. I'm going to make it out of the trail to try to at least get in front of some of you and get some trail magic out there for you. But in the end, I'm going to keep pressing with this channel and getting you guys some support because this community is special, and you can already see the folks already commenting how special this community is, and they're so excited for all of you folks too. So prep hard. That was my comment, my little quote up front. Prep long and hard. Because the more that you're prepared when you step on the trail, the more deeply you get to enjoy those moments when you get to them, especially on top of those peaks where if you didn't prep, you're going to be dying and things aren't just going to mean as much, man. The views are beautiful, but you feel so bad that you're not enjoying it. If you prep long and hard and you've got at least some of the right gear starting off, the views are going to be amazing. And all of you starting out early, which it seems like a lot of you are, the views are going to be better than you can imagine because there's no leaves on the trees. So you're just walking, especially when you get up on the ridge lines in North Carolina and you just keep tripping because you're just looking left and right and there's nothing but views and it's gorgeous. And I'm so jealous. Sitting here talking right now, I'm like, I'm about to say the heck with it and just go with y'all. All right, y'all. Early risers got to get out. I got to go get something to eat. I've ate good all week, so I think I'm going to go get me a burger or something. Y'all know me. I like hamburgers. All right, y'all. It's been my pleasure this week. I have loved watching all the videos. And get out there and start watching and supporting these folks. All right, y'all. Deuces.